Hey guys, it's me Ram here and welcome to monthly walkthroughs with special guests. Today we're going to be doing 3x3 with...
Hi, I'm Adrien Auvray Matyn. I'm the national record holder for 3x3 single in New Zealand with a 5.84 and ranked second for average with a 7.51. My global is around low 7 and I main the RS3M 2020 at the moment. Today I'm going to be doing 5 example solves, so let's get into them.
Anyways, thank you to Adrien for joining me. Go subscribe to his channel, I guess, link in the description. Anyways, let's just begin with Scramble 1, which is at the top of the screen now. Adrien is color neutral, whereas I'm white and yellow only. So on this first scramble here, I see a pretty easy yellow cross. So what I would just do is F, D prime, L, B prime, and then D. And that finishes off my cross. For my first pair, I see these two. Insert in the back. For my second pair, I spot these two, so I would just insert. For my third pair, these two, so I would rotate. And then for my last pair, rotate back like that. Then this OLL followed by a J-perm.
So first thing I see is that this yellow cross looks pretty good. I could solve this in just a few moves. But I also see the green cross is pretty easy to solve because these two edges are already solved. And then I see this one that can be solved in one move, and this one that can be solved in 2 moves. So I think I'm gonna go for green cross here because I can solve it in 3. But see, what you think you might do, the 3-move solution is to do L2, U prime, R2. But that's not actually the best here. See, I see these two. See, I plan ahead to my first pair. So I see these two. They won't move at all when I solve the cross, because I'm going to solve it like this. I'm going to do a D prime, and do L2, U, R2, D. Now the reason I did it like that, instead of the 3-move way, is so that I can solve these two without rotating after I finish the cross. So I'm going to solve these like that. No rotation, easy peasy. And as I was doing that, I saw these two, so I can do that. Also, my next pair will be these two, so let's just watch how these pieces move as I solve the white and red. That one goes back there. This corner goes over to here, and then I can easily rotate and solve these two. Now notice there's this corner right here, so let's watch how that moves. The corner's back over here, and now we see the edge right here. So, I can solve that easily. So here we have a sexy sledge T case. Instead of doing the sexy sledge, which would give you an opposite corners case, notice that these two are not the same and they're not opposite, and these two are opposite. So instead of doing a sexy sledge, you can do this algorithm, which solves corners. So, yeah, and then U prime.
So Scramble 2 is at the top of the screen now. So on this scramble, white is definitely easier than yellow. So what I would start by doing is holding it from this angle and then U2, B prime, F, L, F, rotate, D prime, R prime. These for my first pair, so I would just do that. Insert. For my second pair, these two ready to go. For my third pair, these two, so what I can just do is that. And then last pair, these two, I would rotate and do that. Then for OLL, and then an R-perm.
Alright, second scramble. Looking around, I see green, that already has one, and so does red. I think I'm gonna go for red here because, see, this green edge is back here, and this blue edge is one move away from being solved relative to the green one. And also when I do insert the blue edge, the yellow edge will become easier to solve, like just one move away from being solved relative. And the white one can go in pretty easily. So I see this corner here. When I solve the blue one and the yellow edge, it moves into the top, which will make it pretty easy to track. Also, so I'm gonna start with doing F R prime to solve these 3, and you can also see that this white cross edge comes into the top, so you can solve the rest of the cross with D, R prime, F, R. Also watch how this F12 pair moves. So you can rotate and solve these like that. Next I see these two, so I'm just gonna rotate, solve them in the front. Next I see these two, which I would solve like this. Actually no. Don't use F moves because you're gonna have to rotate to do the next one anyway. So rotate, and then you can easily solve these like this. Now, instead of just inserting it, that'll give you a dot case. So notice that these three edges are not oriented. So instead you do a sledge, and now you have two edges up, which is much better than dot case. So U2, I noticed that these two, for this OLL case, these two corners are matching, and these two are opposite. So I'm gonna get an EPL, and there you go, U-perm. Cool.
So scramble 3 is at the top of the screen now. So on this scramble, I spot yet another easy white cross. So I would start by holding it from this angle and then doing B prime, R, F, L, then rotate this way, D2, R prime, D2. And that solves my cross. First pair these two, F inverse sexy, F prime, insert. Second pair these two. Third pair these two. And then for my last pair I would rotate, then solve it like this. And I spot this OLL followed by this E-perm, which is trash.
Third scramble. I see blue might be easier to solve. This has already one edge in, and orange could be good as well. Both the crosses seem about equally good, so I'm probably gonna look for both of their both of their potential first pairs. Okay, I'm gonna do blue because it actually gives you a really good first pair. If you do the solution. So my first pair is going to be the red and orange. So you see the orange edge here, red edge here, and the yellow edge here. So if you do a D, you can solve the red edge and orange edge easily with an R prime L, and that moves the orange yellow like this, and then the orange yellow first F to L edge is back there. So I can do a D, solve this white edge like this, L2, D, and then I have these two. So that's really easy to solve for your first pair. So, you R prime, solve that into the back. Nothing really easy is that you can see here. Well, you can use deduction here. So you see this pair solved, the cross is solved. So basically I can see, I can see every edge here, except this one. So I see this one. So, okay, I'm looking for the edge that goes with the white and orange. Where's the white and orange? Not this one, 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 not this one. So, must be this one. So, I don't actually have to look at this one to know that that's the one that needs to be done. I can just see the orange over here, know that the edge is oriented, L, U2, L prime. Solve that. So instantly see this. It's really easy to solve. And then these two. I get this OLL. And bin OLL. The OLL that bin wanted me to do.
So scramble 4 is at the top of the screen now. So yeah, over here white cross is ridiculously easy. So what I would just do is B2, R, D prime, R prime, D prime. That finishes off my cross. First pair these two. So I would pair it up and then do this. For the second pair these two. Solve it like so. For my third pair I would do this like this. Sledgehammer. And then last pair I would rotate to do this. Then we have this OLL followed by an A-perm.
Okay, so here, well, I'm not really going to bother looking at any other crosses because, I mean, white's a pretty clear choice. Well, it's possible that it wouldn't be, but I think it is in this case. So I think what I'm going to do, see, these two are solved relative to each other, the green and red. And this blue one can be solved with R D prime, R prime D, R prime D prime R. So I see this pair, the green and orange. So notice when I do the R, these two move like this. So instead of just doing a D prime, R, I do D prime, U. See what that does is when I do R, it brings both of them into the top layer. So when I finish the cross with D prime, L prime, I can solve these really easily into the back. So as I was doing those two, I see these two. So I can go into solving that. These two would have been better to solve, but too late now. You gotta do what first thing you see in a solve. But anyway, they were easy to track, so solve these two, which gives you a pretty bad case for the last one, but whatever. This all along. And then G prime.
Finally, here's the last scramble at the top of the screen now. So yeah, on this scramble it's a pretty easy 3-move yellow cross, so that's what I would end up doing. D, L prime, F2, and then for my first pair I already spot this, so I would just do F, L prime, F. For my second pair this, so I would do that with keyhole. For my third pair these two, separate, insert, and then last pair these two. Then we have this HOLL followed by an A-perm.
There are two very good potential crosses here. So, yellow looks really good because it's got these two that are solved relative to each other. So this is a 3-move cross for yellow, but there's also green, which also has 2 edges solved, which would be a 6-move cross. So yellow is less moves, but it still is possible that green might be better based on the first F12 pair. But looking at this, I think yellow will be the better cross, because I can look ahead to my first 2 F12 pairs. So this one, the blue and orange, will be really easy to solve. So my plan for the cross is D, F prime, R2. 3 moves, really simple to track pairs. So when I do the D, this one goes over to here. F prime goes over here, and the edge goes here. R2, and it goes like this. Easy first 3-move insert. I also saw these two will end up like this. So I saw these two. Gives me this. These two. Now instead of rotating here, which would be pretty annoying, I do U prime, white F, R, white F prime, and then I just solve these like this. Triple reverse sexy move. This all along. And Z prime. Cool. And that's the 5 example solves.
So that's about it for this month's walkthrough solves with a special guest. Huge thank you to Adrien for featuring, and thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Goodbye.